Hey everyone, Shawn Clement here at the beautiful Royal Quebec indoor facility, and we're just gearing down from a wonderful snowstorm right now. It's nice and cozy in here, thank goodness. And so for Golf WRX and Wisdom in Golf, without further ado, let's talk about Phil Mickelson. And Phil's been doing absolutely awesome as of late. More specifically in clubhead speed, it looks like he's getting a lot more speed, and everybody's trying to figure out where he's getting those extra miles per hour in his swing. And to me, I think it was a pretty easy thing to do. He just had to work at it. Obviously, he worked at it, but because he's got decent range of motion, I mean, he's already gearing back. He's letting that lead heel come off the ground, and he's allowing that lead knee to come behind the ball, very much like Bubba Watson, Jack Nicklaus in his prime, Sam Snead. So all those big hitters of the day, especially if you look at the long drive competitors are really gearing back. They're reaching back for some huge range of motion. The lead knee is coming behind the ball and the heel's coming off the ground. What that does is it gives you a lot more rotational momentum on the way through. We have built in within us, through many millions of years of evolution, a kinetic chain. So if I wanted to throw this frisbee as far as possible, I would rear back and then I would step into it. My brain would use that lead leg to grab the ground, and it would use the ground to get my body out of the way. So if I want to throw this frisbee far, I really have to rear back. And it's the same thing. So if you turn your back to the target, notice how the head is also turning, because your head only has about 70 degrees of range on its pivot here. So notice I can't get the chin all the way to the shoulder. So take a page from Jack Nicklaus, either turn your head out of the way, which is what I do, or allow that head to turn as well. So now with that lead knee behind the ball, the heel off the ground, when I try to whip my club in the direction I want to start the ball, my brain can now go get the ground, use the ground to get my body out of the way, and I'm going to get effortless power in that direction. So number one, Phil has range of motion. Number two, he's got a big body, right? He's a tall guy. He's got some good muscle mass. And so he can really use that mass to compress the ball. So you got club speed that he's working with, more range of motion. He's got more ball speed because he's got better compression, more mass behind the ball. And then it's just a matter of, well, where do you want to direct it? Because if you're directing it at the ball, forget about it. There's 30 yards difference between at the ball and through the ball. We got to get this sucker all the way through and get that thing to whistle out here. So the eyes may be over here, but the focus is, what bunker am I going over? What's the trajectory that I'm sending out there? I guarantee you Phil is out here. So the second part of his greatness, you remember seeing that wonderful fairway wood he threaded between the trees and landed like a butterfly with sore feet on a 560-yard par 5. Just amazing. Everybody was, flabbergasted at how high and how long that stayed in the air. So the cool part of those, many of you tend to back down when it comes to hitting shots like that, and you take the safe route. And the reason why myself and Phil and Sevi and a lot of the shot makers, Tiger in his prime, would never back down from that is because it focuses you a lot more. So let's say I put two tees right here and I've got a gate that I want to deliver through. So that's my intermediate point. I got to thread it through the trees. So I've got my setup that needs to go through there, and then I'm going to deliver. So I've got a ball flight in my mind that's going over through the trees, over the pond, and landing it on the green. Obviously, the conditions were very wet. So I'm seeing that trajectory in my mind right now, and I'm just allowing my swing to react to that picture. So through the gate, finding the fairway, I'm landing that ball at about 270 something in the air. So 274. It was 6.5 degrees up. Okay, that's really important here as far as understanding how to remove. So I'm upwards. I got 2,390 RPM, 15 degrees launch. So I'm carrying a 275. My total is 295. And I caught that in the heel. So I catch that a little bit more solid, and I've got a carry of about 280, 285, and I'm, you know, crawling over my 300 to 310 with my left-handed swing. So that's one of the things too, by the way, this TPT golf shaft that I've been working with for a while now. I haven't had a chance to deliver it left-handed. I find it's performing a lot better on my left-handed swing, and I'm not getting the little snap draws, because my right-hand side, it tends to load a little harder. My left-handed side loads a little bit more gradually. So the 16 grade shaft is working really well for me. It basically goes from 90 to 105 miles an hour, although my club speed on there was 115. And that's basically where Phil used to be, about 115, and now he's like 120, 121. It's just work. I just started a new program in the gym. My future son-in-law, who's graduated in kinesiology, put a nice program together for me. He played 5 years of football at Queen's University and just absolutely digs the human body. And so we put an amazing program together. You're going to see a lot more on that in the future. We're building a nice program for golf. And, you know, for us who well over, you know, the over 40 crowd needs it a little bit more. You tend to feel a little bit more invincible when you're 20 to 30 years old. So recapping, need range of motion to get rotational momentum. With that rotational momentum comes more club speed, a little bit more mass from working in the gym, a little bit more speed. I think that with a little bit of speed training, I can get that up to about 120 miles an hour. And strain free. Boy, oh boy, is that important, because if you're trying to resist with the lower body and trying to coil the upper body against it, and you're already fully straining the body in the backswing, when it comes time to gathering or to engage that kinetic chain, something's going to pop, okay? So you really don't want to put yourself in that position to try to achieve that club speed. So it's important that when you go about getting more club speed, that it doesn't come at the expense of strain, okay? So what's the point in getting hurt? Then you can't play golf at all, and it really is no point. So we're dealing with through the ball. So have a look at through the ball Shawn Clement, and why it's so important to get, you know, you need a really decent grip and a stronger grip to get you through the ball. Phil has always tended to move quite nicely with a neutral grip, but he's always been, you know, strong enough to be able to handle that. So I hope you enjoyed that. And then if there's any questions, feel free to comment below. And looking forward to seeing what Phil has in the bag this weekend at Riviera. All the best.